The Miami Heat have been shopping around former All-Star wing Andrew Wiggins. But so far, their trade conversations with the Los Angeles Lakers have stalled because of their trade demands. According to Jovan Buha of the Buha's Block podcast, the Heat have a steep asking price for the 30-year-old Wiggins. "I don't know if Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, Shake Milton, and a first-round pick gets you Andrew Wiggins," Buha said, replying to a question from a fan of his podcast on his hypothetical trade for the Heat forward. "I've reported/shared what I've heard, which is that Miami has been asking for a first and Dalton Connect, which is an overpay for Wiggins. I think they also want Rui Hachimura, too, because they want to remain competitive. Obviously, Rui is a better player than Gabe or Maxi. Miami's asking price has to drop, as I've said before." On June 25th, Anthony Irwin of Clutch Points reported that the Heat were interested in Hachimura in a potential deal involving Wiggins. After reporting the Lakers checked in with the Heat about Wiggins' price, sources tell Clutch Points that trade talks have advanced to the next step, though nothing is considered imminent as of right now. Irwin wrote, "It turns out the Heat wanted more than just Hachimura, which is why a Wiggins trade for the Lakers has not happened yet. Heat offered Andrew Wiggins in final Kevin Durant trade offer. In the aftermath of the Heat losing out on the Kevin Durant sweepstakes, they have made Wiggins available," Clutch Points' Brett Siegel reported on June 24th. "Teams are wondering what is next with the Miami Heat after striking out on a Durant trade," Siegel wrote. "Miami continues to make Andrew Wiggins available in trade talks and would be willing to part with the 20th pick in the NBA draft for an upgrade alongside Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo," sources said. Wiggins was part of the Heat's final package for Durant. Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald reported that the Heat's final offer was Wiggins, Terry Rozier, two bench players, Jamie Jaquez Jr. and Haywood Smith, and this year's 20th pick. But the Rockets made a better offer to steal Durant away from the Heat. The Heat didn't beat the Rockets' package consisting of former number 1 pick Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, the number 10 pick, Duke center Common Maluak, in last month's draft, a second-round pick in the 2025 draft, and 4 other second-round picks, per ESPN. Andrew Wiggins' underwhelming playoff run. Wiggins posted solid numbers for the Heat since he arrived, averaging 19.0 points, 4.2 rebounds, 3.3 assists, 1.1 steals, and 1.0 block in 17 games. But the alarming drop of his performance in the Heat's lopsided playoff loss to the Cleveland Cavaliers could have factored in the Heat's decision to look to move on from him. Wiggins' numbers plummeted to 11.5 points, 3.3 rebounds, and 2.3 assists per game in the Cavaliers' 4-0 sweep of the Heat. He arrived mid-season as part of the Jimmy Butler return package from the Golden State Warriors. Between the Warriors and the Heat, Wiggins averaged 18.0 points, 4.5 rebounds, 2.6 assists while shooting 45% from the field, 37% from three-point line across 60 games. The 30-year-old 3-and-D wing was an All-Star 3 seasons ago when he helped the Warriors win their last championship over the Boston Celtics in 2022. Wiggins has 2 more years left. Last year's $30.2 million player option in his 4-year, $109 million contract. Things appear to be a bit prickly between LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers. Publicly, the relationship took a turn when James' agent Rich Paul released a bombshell statement on the eve of NBA free agency. It appears tension has been brewing between the two parties for some time. During an interview with ESPN Cleveland, NBA insider Brian Windhorst revealed that James was shocked by the Lakers' decision to trade Anthony Davis to the Dallas Mavericks for Luka Doncic in February 2025. James was not necessarily against the deal, per Windhorst, but the superstar was not involved in the decision to acquire Doncic. "One thing I feel pretty good about today, although things can pivot, is LeBron's time with the Lakers is beginning to come to an end," Windhorst explained, per RealJ. "They are beginning to move apart. You can actually argue that started when they traded for Luka. I know everybody thought LeBron was in on that. I know I said at the time I didn't believe that. LeBron was not in on it. I don't know what else to tell you. He was not in on it. He wasn't against it. I think he was shocked they traded Anthony Davis. But LeBron was not in part of that decision process. That was a move away from LeBron as the center of the team. The Lakers' relationship with LeBron James is dicey amid NBA free agency. Insider. The Athletic's Sam Amick described James' relationship with the Lakers as a little crunchy and dicey at the moment. It remains to be seen if James will push for a trade this offseason, or if this is simply a leverage move by the star to urge the Lakers to make more win-now moves. The Lakers do not appear thrilled to continue paying James beyond the $50 million mark each season. The Lakers, as I reported the other day, did not discuss any contract situation with LeBron that went beyond the season. Amick explained during a July 2, 2025, interview on The Rich Eisen Show, per Hoops Hype. That is the action that speaks volumes about how they see him right now. Their ideal scenario was going to be that he announced his retirement and allowed them to celebrate him for the entire year. That would have been the cleanest, easiest way for this relationship to come to an end. His desire to continue playing, which is obviously his right, will potentially be problematic, where they just have to reach a point where, they can't continue doling out $50 plus million in that kind of way to him. So that's where I think he's looking at everything, monitoring, and we'll see where it goes. But it does feel a little crunchy and dicey at the moment. Rich Paul on LeBron James' future. The Lakers star wants to compete for a championship. The ongoing rumors come after James released a complicated statement about his future via Paul. James appeared to leave the door open to finishing his career somewhere other than Los Angeles. LeBron wants to compete for a championship, Paul explained to ESPN's Shams Charania on July 29. He knows the Lakers are building for the future. He understands that, but he values a realistic chance of winning it all. We are very appreciative of the partnership that we've had for 8 years with Jeannie, Bus, and Rob Pelinka, and consider the Lakers as a critical part of his career. We understand the difficulty in winning now while preparing for the future. We do want to evaluate what's best for LeBron at this stage in his life and career. He wants to make every season he has left count, and the Lakers understand that, are supportive, and want what's best for him. If LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers decide to end their partnership, the Golden State Warriors have the easiest path to trading for the future Hall of Famer, according to Fred Katz of The Athletic. Katz singled out Jimmy Butler as the Warriors' obvious salary match for James. Butler makes a tad more than James does, marking the trade legal, though if it were constructed this way, it would hard cap the Lakers at the first apron, since they'd be absorbing more money than they send out in a deal. If the Lakers were fine with that, they could execute the one-for-one trade, Katz wrote. And even if the Lakers want to duck the first apron, roping in a third team would not be hard for the Warriors. Golden State and Los Angeles could find a third team willing to take on one of the Lakers' minimum salaries, say Jordan Goodwin's, without giving any salary back. This way, the total money leaving the purple and gold is above Butler's incoming salary, Katz wrote. The Warriors still have plenty of draft capita, 3 second-round picks, to incentivize a team with cap room, such as the Brooklyn Nets, to absorb Goodwin's $2.4 million salary. LeBron James hints at possible trade demand. James sent a veiled threat to the Lakers through his agent, Rich Paul, Clutch Sports CEO, after picking up his $52.6 million player option. LeBron wants to compete for a championship, Paul told ESPN. He knows the Lakers are building for the future. He understands that, but he values a realistic chance of winning it all. We are very appreciative of the partnership that we've had for 8 years with Jeannie, Bus, and Rob Pelinka, and consider the Lakers as a critical part of his career. The Lakers made a seismic organizational pivot from James when they traded for Doncic, swapping Anthony Davis, James' closest friend on the team, and a fellow Clutch Sports client. Upon Doncic's arrival, the Lakers quickly catered to his demands, leading to the rescinded Mark Williams trade, which didn't go unnoticed in James' camp. We understand the difficulty in winning now while preparing for the future, Paul continued. We do want to evaluate what's best for LeBron at this stage in his life and career. He wants to make every season he has left count, and the Lakers understand that, are supportive, and want what's best for him. It remains to be seen how James feels about the Lakers' moves in free agency. The Lakers have lost Dorian Finney-Smith, their top 3, and D-Wing, and replaced him with an improved 23-year-old Jake LaRavia. And their answer for their most pressing need at center was to sign former number 1 pick DeAndre Ayton, whose questionable work ethic led to the Phoenix Suns and Portland Trail Blazers souring on him. But the Lakers could not have done any better than Ayton at $8.3 million price point, the remaining portion of their non-taxpayer mid-level exception after accounting LaRavia's 2-year, $12 million deal. Warriors pursued LeBron James last year. The Warriors pursued James last year, but they got rebuffed. They have a higher chance of getting traction now if they're going to revisit it. Trade talks didn't go far at all, James said on TNT's Inside the NBA broadcast on February 18, 2024. I actually heard about it when everybody else heard about it. Obviously, Charles Barkley has been in the league, Kenny Smith has been in the league, Shaq has been in the league, and sometimes there's conversations that happen behind closed doors that you don't even know about. According to Substack's NBA insider Mark Stein, it was Paul who nixed the talks before they even got past the exploratory stage. It is believed that the Lakers would have reluctantly entertained trade conversations with the Warriors before last February's trade deadline if James wanted them to seriously engage Golden State on a potential deal. Yet league sources say that the reported talks between the teams at the time never got that far, in large part because James' agent Rich Paul was adamantly opposed to the idea of James swapping Southern California for Northern California, Stein wrote. Paul was protective of James' image, according to Stein. Sources say Paul implored both teams to scrap the concept, despite some owner-to-owner dialogue between the Warriors' Joe Lacob and the Lakers' Jeannie Buss, and Green's determination to lobby James to push for relocation to the Bay Area, largely because he wanted to insulate James from potential backlash over switching teams for the 4th time in his career, Stein wrote. But with the Lakers having a new franchise player and new majority owner, the circumstances have changed for James and the Warriors.